Secaucus, New Jersey is only 6 miles west of Manhattan, but it's far from a city. And I'm not saying that because this is New Jersey and I'm a native New Yorker who tends to get a bit proud sometimes. There is a reason. If urban planners who studied this region 90 years ago got their way, I would be standing in the middle of a major metropolis. Clearly, they didn't. But I'm not putting New Jersey down. This area has living history. The remains of pre-World War II London are here, and when I read that, I needed to find out why. This is New Jersey's Meadowlands district, which is widely known as a polluted wasteland, perhaps rightfully so. State and tourist websites like to highlight the successful restoration of natural wetlands here, but landfills still leak toxins. It's easy to frame the story of New Jersey's Meadowlands as centuries of environmental degradation followed by damage control, because that is the story of the Meadowlands broadly. But it's also a story of human ambition, resourcefulness, and even hope. In the early 20th century, population growth choked New York City. Residents needed more space, less expensive space, and the Meadowlands seemed perfect. In 1922, the city was thriving, but economic success brought overcrowding, pollution, and a demand for larger manufacturing facilities. That prompted prominent urban planners and civic leaders to join forces with one goal: improving quality of life. They founded the Regional Plan Association, or RPA, on the principle that developing the region demanded a plan that crossed state boundaries and encompassed multiple urban centers. Innovations in transportation allowed people to travel farther, faster. Crossing the river by car or by train was easy and affordable. And just across the river, the Meadowlands, tens of thousands of acres of undeveloped wetlands. Despite new roads, tunnels, and railways, the urban centers here were sparse and disconnected. Today, we know unregulated landfills are destructive, but at the time, dumping enormous amounts of landfill in the Meadowlands to create solid ground for people to live on wasn't a problem, it was the solution. In October 1928, the magazine Popular Science Monthly revealed the RPA's intentions with the headline, "A Magic City from a Swamp." Acres of undeveloped swampland would give rise to an industrial oasis complete with airports, skyscrapers, parks, and spacious residential districts. Its population would rival Boston's, and the city would be larger than Manhattan itself. The Meadowlands were polluted, sure, but the area was perfectly situated, and the RPA had the most advanced land reclamation technologies at their disposal. Filling marshes, straightening the river, dredging canals for large ships would cost the equivalent of about $2 billion today, and that was possible in 1928. When the RPA formally presented their idyllic city in 1929, it received widespread support, but a lot changed in the year 1929. The Great Depression isn't the best time to start building a major city. The plans were abandoned, and local authorities deemed the marshes unproductive swampland. But they could still be developed, just in the least expensive way. So the Meadowlands became a dumping ground. Which brings me to my original question. How did the ruins of the Blitz end up here? The story is actually quite straightforward. At the start of the Second World War, Great Britain asked the United States for ships and supplies, and the US delivered, on the condition that the ships would be returned. Huge, mass-produced ships crossed the Atlantic and unloaded cargo in major cities that would be completely bombed out during the war. On the way back, cargo ships needed something to weigh them down, so they loaded rubble, the literal ruins of the Blitz, on board. Ships returning from Bristol docked on the eastern side of Manhattan, where the rubble was used to build a section of a major road still in use today. There's even a plaque there. But ships carrying ruins of London docked here in New Jersey, where dumping waste in the Meadowlands was a commercial enterprise. They faced a far less glamorous fate when, just west of here, a landfill owner contracted to accept them. Today, they're mixed with tons of waste from New York and New Jersey, both municipal and industrial, that were dumped here legally and illegally over decades. There's no plaque, no memorial, nothing. Manhattan's Bristol Basin was part of a formal construction project that's well documented, but the ruins of London, most people don't even know they're here. There is one bright spot at the end, though. Back in London, developer Patrick Abercrombie was working to rebuild. The RPA's proposal to build a city here, the plan that failed and the reason this was a dumping ground for London's rubble, set the precedent that if cities planned ahead for growth, they could be vibrant, thriving communities. Abercrombie's 1944 plan for London was inspired by that philosophy. His plan failed too. Britain's post-war economy wouldn't allow for it. But the potential for renewal encompassed in Abercrombie's plan helped raise post-World War II morale. So objectively, yes, the ruins of the London Blitz are rotting on the bottom of a New Jersey swamp. But if the same events that created this landfill in America played even a small role in providing Londoners with an optimistic outlook on Britain's future, the legacy of the ruins buried here was never entirely lost.
And the result of all this would be all the essentials for living, playing, and working under decent conditions, near at home, and plenty of light, air, and space for everyone.